Hey guys, so excuse the poor lighting. We've had nasty, rainy days and it's just gross. So this video is going to be about proxying. As some of you know, I proxy a lot of my horses, so I get a lot of questions about that. So I'm going to do a video about it for you. I do not have a list of active proxy showers. It's really hard to find a proxy shower, and you need to pick your own proxy shower because it needs to be someone you trust. These people are going to have your models, they're going to be handling them. It needs to be people you trust to take care of them. I tend to only use people that I know, people that are really good friends. I've never actually used someone who had a posting about it. I did do that one time and it went really bad. My models came back damaged. So the first step is just be careful. Research who you're about to pick. Maybe try and pick someone you know, maybe that's in your region, because sometimes if you pick someone who's in your region but they're in a state that maybe they go to other shows that you don't get to. For instance, one of my friends does it. She lives a few states above me, so she gets to go to more of those shows that I don't because they're about 8 hours plus away from me, but they're only an hour away for her. The next step is to ship your models reasonably. So first, know what you're gonna send. First step is to get a box, and this is the box you're gonna send because shipping's expensive. So go ahead and get a box and decide that's the biggest box you're gonna send. Before you pick the horses to go, get a box. It'll make your life easier. Then you're gonna pick what horses can fit in that box. And just remember, I don't send my solid cast Everils. So for instance, she is a solid cast Everil. I don't send her because the heavier the horse, the more of a risk it's going to be in shipping. Obviously there's a risk either way, but the heavier ones tend to break easier. They'll put more pressure on other horses in the box. So keep all that in mind. Also keep in mind that your proxy is not responsible for damage. Now, there can be a fine line here, and I'm not going to get into it because you'll have to take it up with your proxy when it happens, but normally a proxy is not responsible for any damage done. Of course, they're never responsible for shipping damage, but even when the horse is in their hands, you're kind of just hoping that they take care of them. So you got to keep that in mind. But my first biggest tip to proxying after you find a person is decide on the box, do a little bit of tracking with it. How much is it going to cost you to send a box that size? What kind of weight should you be going for? Really playing around with the weight helps, knowing what's going to be cheaper, what's going to be more expensive. Sometimes you need to keep it below 15 pounds. Sometimes you might as well just go up to 20 pounds because it's going to be the same price. When I send my horses from over here on the East Coast to over on the West Coast, it's extremely expensive to ship them. So it's easier for me to go with a bigger box that's heavier because it's going to cost the same amount as a big box that's lighter. So you really have to play around with that. That's key right there. To not feel stressed out because you're going to, need to know what you can send. If you pick the horses that are going to go first, then you're going to be stressed out when they don't fit in the box. Secondly, you need to know what shows you're proxying at. What shows are they taking them to, and pay your proxy fees. Do that before you do any of the following. You should not have people showing your horses under their name. I stress this because shows really need the money, so it's not fair to cheat them out. If you're only going to send one horse or two horses and that show is charging a $25 proxy fee, email the show host. Tell her, I'm only having a friend send one or two horses. Is there a way I can pay $2 or $3 per horse? Usually show hosts are pretty nice and willing to consider this, but they're assuming that if you're proxying, you're probably sending, 6 or more horses. Just assuming. So don't think you don't want to pay your proxy fees just because that show's charging $25. Go email them and say, hey, I'm only sending this. Can we work something else out? But you should not have people showing your horses under their name for you. The next thing is after you've paid your proxy fee and you know what shows you're going to, obviously you need to print a class list. Now, these are my tips for proxy showing that are going to make it easier on your proxy shower. Okay, so you need to print a class list. I've just printed a random one here. I don't even remember what show it was. What I do on this class list is I make one for me, one for them. You want to write out the horse's name, the model name or whatever, that is going to go in that class. So I've done some examples. So see, I've said Lone Star is going in the quarter horse class. I said Nova is going in the Arabian class, even though my Arabian doesn't. Vince goes in the Spanish class, and so on. You do that for all your horses. If you have more than one horse on a mold, let's say I had 2 Lone Stars and you wanted them to know which Lone Star, you could write Bay Lone Star. This is just a quick glance for them to know what horses you're sending them and where they're going to go. A lot of people like to have these at the shows to look at because it helps them know where they need to take horses to. The next one is something I do. Your Proxy may or may not want it. I create a horse list for them. In some regions, they're gonna need this anyways. In some regions, they won't. Okay, so you create a horse list. What I do is I put the class name. What is the show name for that class? So for instance, you know, here where it says quarter horse, number 3, number 2 is quarter horse because that's the class name. Then the horse name, that's gonna be the show name. So I guess show name would be more appropriate. I've just made some up here. If your horse's name was Devil's Night, you'd put Devil's Night. Breed, what breed should that horse be showing as? And then you put it there. Whether it be a cross, whether it be solid breed, a straight breed, whatever. Description. I find this description really helpful because you got to remember not everybody's going to know everything about what you're sending. You know, not everyone's going to understand the breeds the breeds or the artist resin name or the custom name or the mold name. So I put a little description. It's the Nova artist resin and he's a buckskin pinto. It's the Lone Star artist resin and he's bay. It just helps them know who you're talking about because they're not going to know your horse's show name as well as you are. You can't just say, well, this is Devil, and they're going to know, oh, okay, this is Devil. You got to remember, you know your horses, but they don't. So when they look at that and they just see Devils going in this class, they're going to be like, which one's Devil? Don't make them go searching through your tags. Make it easy for them. It's the horse mold's name or something that is a general description that people should be able to easily figure out. If it was a custom, it would be the Bay Lonesome Glory custom. If it was an OF, it would be the Dun Lonesome Glory because there's the Going for Gold or whatever. You don't have to go long, just let them know. The placing thing I write down, I don't do this, but you might, if you're concerned about third place and lower, this might help you because they're probably going to lose track of first, like most proxy showers keep really good track of first and second, but it can be hectic to keep up with third and lower. That's because a lot of people don't keep third and lower placings. Like I don't keep third and lower unless it's a sales horse. I don't keep them. I turn them back into the show. So you can have a placing so that way right after it goes up, they can write it down. An important thing about this list is I always put it in order of the class list. Now I didn't do it for that one because I didn't make it, but if Arab came second, it would be after quarter horse. If the class list was in order of Arab, part Arab, Appaloosa, quarter horse, this would be Arab, and then part Arab, Appaloosa, and all that before quarter horse. The next thing is you want to make sure you have your tags done for them. And you want to make sure you're doing the tags correctly because each region does tags a little differently. You also want to make sure if you're leaving a horse for multiple shows that the tags will work for multiple shows. And if not, you need to make a second set of tags. So for instance, some shows want all the information on the front. Some shows want half the information on the front, half the information on the back. If that's the case, you need to make 2 sets of tags. One tag that has a set for the first show and another set that's for the second show. The other thing is make sure you give plenty of bubble wrap and stuff for packing your horses back up because they're probably only going to use what you sent them. Send with some pony pouches in if you can because it's always important to send them something to transport your models around in because you shouldn't be expecting them to have stuff. So pony pouches, bubble wrap, whatever you use to transport your models into shows, make sure you're sending that for them so that they have something to transport your models in. The other thing is to remember to thank them and thank them for their time. Proxy showing is very stressful, especially if you have your own big show string. It's even harder to proxy someone else's horses. I know I find it extremely difficult. So make sure you're really saying thank you and, you know, thanking them for the time and stuff. The other thing is to make sure that you either send them the money for return shipping in the box, or you have that worked out. Because the last thing you want is to need your horses back by a certain date and not have return shipping worked out. So just go ahead and have things prepared for return shipping. I hope some of this helped you guys if you are looking for proxying tips. Of course, you need to remember to do all the normal things. Dust your horses. They'll probably do it too, but going ahead and getting a good dusting can't hurt. You know, making sure there's no falls and touching them up if there is. Things like that. All the normal stuff you would do. But these were just some extra things to do for your proxy. If you haven't already, I have made a Twitter and an Instagram for my model horse accounts. You can see the links below or click on the little icons. Twitter I would like to start using to do like questions and stuff. I have so many people ask me questions and want me to do Q&A videos, but it's really hard for me to go through all the different YouTube videos and pull the questions. So it's a lot easier if people start leaving them on my Twitter, and then I'll do a big video once I hit a certain amount. Instagram, I share lots of photos of my real horse, my dogs, all my real horses, and lots of model photos. And I'll be using Instagram when I go to live shows. I have one coming up in about a month. I'll be using that to post videos and pictures straight from the show and all that. I'm going to be doing a giveaway here soon. There might be one explicitly for YouTube and one explicitly for Instagram, or it might go to both and you can get an extra entry on Instagram. So definitely follow me on Instagram if you have one, because I'll be posting something about that here shortly. I'm trying to get the last little details planned out. So it was falling apart there for a bit, but I think I got it coming back together. So I hope y'all like this video. Really trying to do more videos. I am in the process of trying to get my schedule opened a little bit more. Those of you I've told about this will understand, and I will announce it as soon as I can. It's not really anything model horse related, and it probably won't help 90% of you watching this video, but it's gonna help my schedule a lot. So thank you guys for watching again for the third time, and I will have some more videos posted soon. New arrivals coming in the next day or two, so at least some more photo videos coming. Thanks for watching.